This is a medical emergency, and every day it's getting worse here. Critically ill children are squeezed into cots 2 or 3 at a time. There's just not enough room, and there are too many patients in desperate need, and every day more are coming. This is the top children's hospital in Afghanistan. It's the best there is, but they're running out of everything: medicine, supplies, equipment, everything. Medical staff know they just can't treat their patients, but they keep trying anyway.
They've all very poorly, these little ones.
Serious. This one CP. This one is CP. This one is CP. Three of them is CP. Cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy.
Aspiration.
And it's difficult, but are their chances of survival quite low?
CP treatments, no treatment CP.
So there's no
For
treatment?
Afghanistan.
There's over 500 patients in the Indira Gandhi hospital. They've only room for 300. Ward after ward is exactly the same, jam-packed with really poorly babies and children. The head doctor says they're overwhelmed by demand and lack of equipment.
Is necrotizing encephalitis.
Foreign aid lost after the Taliban takeover is critical, he says, if they are to save lives.
There's a need for some good drugs.
Yes.
You don't purchase from outside the hospital. And this is a big problem. Our peoples, like this, are very poor. We have need some, like we need for ventilator machine. We don't have ventilator. There's a need for ventilator. We don't have CPAP machine, ventilator machine, for ICU. This is a very need for ICU.
Aziz struggles to pick up his daughter Moslema and place her next to her brother. They've come from 2 provinces to get here. They've genetic kidney disease like 2 of their siblings already dead. Their chances of survival are slim.
The chance of survival is too low. I mean, 80% chance of dying.
And that's because there's nothing you can do?
We cannot, no, because we don't have any facility for these patients here.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, this is probably the best children's hospital in the entire country, right?
An entire, yeah, governmental country,
Yeah.
a governmental hospital.
Yeah.
But public, it means we have
Private ones, yeah.
private one.
But 80% of the
But
population
too
have to use
expensive,
this.
too
Yeah.
expensive. They can't afford it.
And is that what you're finding? You just don't have the resources, is that right?
For the poor patients, we don't have any good result for the patients. Because from one side, we have got more patients. I mean, load of patients are too high. From every side of Afghanistan comes the patients here. And the facilities too low. I mean.
This must be very hard for you.
What?
It must be hard for you.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we can do nothing for these patients, for these kind of patients. On
But
any
for you as a
stage.
doctor, every day you're coming to work knowing there's nothing you can do.
For these patients, unfortunately, no.
Wow. And that must be terrible.
So we don't have any other way.
Many have serious illnesses that could be successfully treated. It's not a lack of skill here, it's a lack of resources. 12-year-old Amina has meningitis. They're struggling to save her. Healthcare in Afghanistan, particularly in the provinces, has been poor for decades. That isn't the issue here. The point is, we're in the best children's hospital in the whole of the country, and they're overwhelmed. They just don't have the resources, they don't have the money, they don't have medicines, and many of the children who come here are simply going to die, not because they couldn't be treated, but because there is no way of treating them. They need international community help. The Taliban are in charge here. Indeed, an armed guard was assigned to us the whole time. It's one of the problems for the international community. Despite the Taliban's intransigent position on many issues, the hospital's president, himself a surgeon, is asking for help with this medical crisis. The baby's not ill, it just has no food. As we walked the corridors, a woman grabbed us. She wanted help to buy baby formula.
Can you not get formula anywhere?
So really, this little one, there's nothing actually wrong. She's just starving hungry. And there's no formula, and that
we're hearing all. I mean, even the hospital doesn't have formula. So really, she's not ill enough to be admitted, but just is starving hungry.
Malnutrition across Afghanistan is out of control. The worst affected come here if they can make it. Sophia is 7. She's just arrived. But for the first time in weeks, the family has some hope.
Are you hopeful that she will get better?
For many others, though, there is nothing but despair. Malnutrition has engulfed 2-year-old Shireen Khan's body. He's fighting for his life. His mum can do nothing. This is a nationwide medical emergency. Golbashra doesn't care who's to blame. She just wants her son to live. Stuart Ramsay, Sky News, Kabul.